Welcome back to the channel, everyone. If you're new here, welcome. You're going to want to stick around for this one because this story genuinely had me speechless. Okay, this story right here. Am I the asshole for hiding the fact that my youngest son is biologically ours? Read that title again. They hid the fact that their own biological child was their biological child. And they did it for 19 years. But before you judge them, you really need to hear why. Because honestly, this might be one of the most selfless things I've ever seen on this subreddit. Let's get into it. So our original poster is 48 years old, and his wife is 46. They come from a culture where arranged marriages are common, and that's exactly how they ended up together. They were matched up when she was just 18 and he was 20. Now, they both wanted children. But there was a problem. His wife has a medical condition that made it extremely difficult for her to get pregnant. And because of the arranged nature of their marriage, they weren't exactly enthusiastic about repeatedly trying, if you catch my drift. So when they became financially stable and felt ready, they made the decision to adopt. They adopted their first son when he was 3 years old. He's now 26. Then about a year later, they adopted their daughter as a newborn. She's now 22. 2 beautiful kids. Their family was complete. Life was good. But then, something unexpected happened. About 3 years after adopting their daughter, OP and his wife had a drunken hookup with each other. And despite all the fertility issues, despite everything doctors had told them, despite all the odds stacked against them, she got pregnant. Now here is where this story takes a turn that I genuinely did not see coming. When they found out about the pregnancy, they made a decision. A huge decision. They decided to hide it from everyone. And you might be thinking, wait, what? Why would anyone hide a pregnancy? That should be happy news, right? Well, here's why. For years, their families had been pressuring them to try fertility treatments. Their families kept pushing them to have a child that would, and this is a direct quote, truly belong to them. Let that sink in for a second. Their families were basically saying that their adopted children didn't truly belong to them, that those kids weren't real family. So OP and his wife knew exactly what would happen if their families found out this baby was biologically theirs. The grandparents, the aunts, the uncles, everyone. They would treat this new baby differently. They would favor the biological child, and their 2 adopted kids, they would become second-class members of the family. So they hid the entire pregnancy. They told everyone they had simply adopted another baby. Only a few trusted friends and select family members knew the truth. And here's an important detail. All 3 of their children know about this. They're all in on it. Now, fast forward to today. The youngest son is 19 years old. All 3 kids are grown adults. And recently, OP's father, who's 69 now, was having a conversation with OP and a cousin. And this cousin happens to be one of the people who knows the truth about the pregnancy. During this conversation, the father starts going on about how he's always been disappointed that OP never gave him a, quote, proper grandchild. A proper grandchild. He said he was holding out hope until last year when OP's wife turned 45. Like he was just sitting there, year after year, waiting and hoping they'd finally produce what he considered a real grandchild. OP responded by telling him, "You have 3 grandchildren through me." And the father? He just grumbled and said, "It's not the same." After this conversation, the cousin pulls OP aside in private. And the cousin says he thinks it's kind of an asshole move to still be hiding this after all these years. His argument is that the father is getting older now, and the kids are all grown, so it's not like the grandfather can really treat them that differently at this point. And I guess that's a fair point on the surface. But here's my take on this. This man, this grandfather, just sat there and told OP to his face that his 3 grandchildren aren't good enough because they're not biological. He called the adopted kids, children who have been part of this family for over 2 decades, not proper grandchildren. He literally said it's not the same. And we're supposed to feel bad that he doesn't know one of them is biologically related? No. Absolutely not. The grandfather showed exactly why OP and his wife made the right call 9 years ago. He proved that their fears were completely justified. If he had known the youngest was biological, those two older kids would have spent their entire childhoods being treated as lesser than. They would have grown up knowing their grandfather loved their little brother more than them. Every birthday, every holiday, every family gathering. They would have felt it. OP and his wife protected their children. That is what good parents do. And honestly, the grandfather doesn't deserve to know. He hasn't earned that information. He has spent 19 years treating all three grandchildren equally because he thought they were all adopted. And that's probably the most fair treatment those kids were ever going to get from him. Why would you reward his prejudice now by giving him what he always wanted? So he can spend his final years favoring one grandchild over the others? So the older two kids can finally feel what it's like to be second best in their grandfather's eyes? No. Some secrets exist for a reason. And this is one of them. So no, OP. I don't think you're the asshole here. Not even close. Your cousin might mean well, but he's wrong on this one. You did what you had to do to protect your family, and I respect that. But that's just my opinion. Now I want to hear from you guys. Drop a comment down below and let me know what you think. Should OP finally tell his father the truth now that everyone is grown? Does the grandfather deserve to know after everything he said? Or did OP make the right call protecting his family? I read every single comment, so don't be shy. And if you enjoyed this video and want to see more stories like this, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out more than you know. Hit that notification bell too, so you never miss an upload. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.